This is Kotaticast, episode 4. So how's everybody doing? How's this week been, guys?
Same as every week since the quarantine.
Yeah? Fear and loathing?
I mean, we've been doing the same thing for like the past, month?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what Isaac's doing. He's like going to Wendys or something.
I'm living life.
Yeah, he's living it up at the Wendys. You know, I don't even know what that's like. I've seen another person
there.
What?
Yeah, it's not round anymore. It's square. You know, my life's more rigid, like the Wendy's patty, which are square, rigid.
Oh, okay.
Orthogonal.
Wow, I didn't know that was a word.
You know, a lot of things aren't words, but that's a word.
Well, on that note, why don't we jump into what's been happening this week, right? How about those Trump tweets from this week? Saying let's liberate Virginia, liberate Michigan. You see that?
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on Covfefe.
Okay.
So you're stuck like 2 years ago.
Yeah. I think that was an omen. Yeah, that's an omen. COVID, Covfefe.
Wow, you predicted all of this. Wow.
Bro, he was trying to tell us something. I think he's a puppet.
No, he
Okay. So well anyways, what do you think of all these people saying that Trump is just trying to spark insurrection? He's like trying to get people to protest and riot, right? Like, do you think they're just overhyping it? Do you think they're just being a bunch of typical liberals?
I don't know. These guys have guns. That's pretty scary. You don't know what they're gonna do. Like, did they?
Yeah, I mean,
what were they blocking? What are they blocking right now? Or what did they block?
Roads.
Did they? What about hospitals?
Yes.
Wait, what? I don't think they're not
roads lead to hospitals.
Like, I'm trying to see what they're actually blocking.
They're just blocking random things. They're like,
what are they protesting?
You know, so much for your notes, Jeremy.
Oh no. I just skimmed it.
That's another edit.
Yeah, that's another edit. All right, good luck, George.
No, like, I mean, I've seen some of them that are just like parading around on streets or like parks or something like that. You know, just trying to intentionally violate the stay-at-home orders. You know, have you seen? But you've also seen those Reddit posts too, right? About
which one? There's a lot.
Well, so this Reddit post was specifically about how there's like some coordination going on behind the scenes. Like they're basically implying that it's one person who's setting up all these Facebook groups and then trying to like organize a movement to get people out there and protesting.
I mean,
yeah. So some guy was investigating the website registrations, and he found that really they've been registered around the same times and on the same days with the same registrar, GoDaddy. And then suspiciously, all these groups have the same sort of description. And then also Trump, pretty much around the same time, these pages go up. I mean, he started tweeting all the stuff about liberate Minnesota, liberate Virginia, liberate Michigan. So, kind of makes you think, like, who's really behind this?
Right. And Didn't they look at the IP address of the person who is registering?
I don't
I
know if you
mean,
can
you would
tell
hope
it by.
they use a VPN, right? Unless they're dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were using a proxy.
Were they? So what the guy mentioned was that they did not use any proxy services.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's my bad.
So that's why they're able to see these correlations between these registrations.
Oh no, the thing about the proxy that I saw was that they were looking at the who is information, and it said it was obscured by a proxy for the who is records. So you wouldn't be able to see like all of the information that you would otherwise. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. We don't. I mean, we don't know for sure, but it kind of points to like a coordinated effort that somebody like it's just one person or one group that's starting all these pages.
Yeah, the thing about who is you actually get a bunch of information. Like you get names, you get locations. I think these particular who is entries they weren't completely filled out.
Yeah. Yeah. How did they actually do? Wait, how did they actually do the who is query?
So I think who is I'm thinking that it works through DNS,
Yeah.
and what DNS really is kind of like a public data storage
Yeah.
um, of a bunch of different servers, and then their corresponding information.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it goes through DNS, although I haven't really looked into the internals. I mean,
Yeah.
where else are they going to get it from? So
Right. So I mean, basically, you could just open up your terminal and then just who is any website out there, right?
yeah, so if you have like a Linux computer, I think it's built in. If not, maybe it's part of like some NetTools package. Maybe it's probably
Yeah.
built in. But
Yeah.
yeah, all you do is type in who is and then the domain. You get a ton of information.
Yeah. That's pretty cool tool.
And I'm pretty sure if you do like an NS lookup or a dig is used for querying DNS. You're going to see the
Yeah.
same sort of information.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of this is public knowledge, right? So
Yeah.
anyone could
Right.
run a who is, anyone could look into information. So this is why there are proxy services for domains in case people want to obscure all the registration details.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so along those lines with the it seems that these groups have started up around the same time that Donald Trump was tweeting, liberate Michigan and everything. He also tweeted liberate Virginia and save your great Second Amendment. It is under siege. That was kind of an interesting one, right? Because there's a lot of people out there that are saying, "Oh, he's just overreacting. Why is he making this about the Second Amendment? Why is he trying to instigate?" Right? But when we actually looked into it, Virginia is passing anti-gun legislation right now. Right? The governor just signed into law some gun safety bills. I saw they were limiting the amount of guns that can be purchased in a certain time frame, and some stronger checks for reporting gun thefts. I mean, I don't think they're like entirely unreasonable laws, but it is like kind of noticeable. You can really just force this kind of stuff through it without anybody watching at a time like this, right?
Yeah, and
There's also the. Go ahead.
oh yeah, and the worst thing is like, yeah, maybe now it's for guns, but I mean, someone else could be someone else could be pushing something else, and um, I mean, you're gonna be looked on pretty badly since you're not supposed to be out right now.
Yeah. Did you
There's
also
a.
hear about? What was that?
The encryption law they're trying to pass.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that one. Did you read much about it?
I just know
Yeah.
that they're just trying to squeeze it through. They're like, let's let no crisis go unexploited. Something like that.
So
Paraphrasing.
I haven't looked into the specifics of how exactly they're planning to kill encryption. All I know is that the actual bill doesn't really mention that they're going to ban encryption, but it's something people have been saying could be stretched to include encryption.
Okay.
And now I'm
Like,
kind of wondering the specifics of that, because
yeah, like
just breaking encryption in general, you know what that messes up. That messes up everything. Like you wouldn't be able to log into your bank securely. People would be able to like sniff all your traffic unencrypted.
Yeah.
Like, so many things break if you can't
I
use
don't think
encryption.
it's saying that you have to get rid of all encryption. They're saying you have to create a backdoor for the government.
And those backdoors could be abused. Other people could find
And
out those
there's already a
backdoors.
bunch of backdoors right now as it is. With a warrant, maybe.
These guys
If
don't
they feel like it.
understand what they're doing. Like they're thinking, oh, just do it just for the government. No one else can access it. But that's wrong. Like,
Well, yeah,
if there's a
they're
back
old.
door, people will
They're
find
like
it.
old people. They don't know anything.
They just
Oh,
think the
hey.
internet.
It's a little ageist.
I mean,
Sorry.
they just think the internet is a bunch of pipes. They're just doing
All they
plumbing.
understand is the small blurbs they get from their whips.
Hey, we gotta cut down on the ageism, or I don't think our sponsors Metamucil will like that. Metamucil and Depends.
Metamucil, can we get Tom's instead?
I'll talk to them. I'll talk to them
What
about
about
that.
Activia? You like Activia, right?
Yo, if we can get Activia and we can make Jamie Lee Curtis poop, that'd be awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I like the sound of that.
Of the poop.
Okay, how about we talk about some other stuff that was going on this week? Particularly the loans, the small business loans, and the Paycheck protection program. Like, apparently, the Paycheck protection program money just ran out on the 16th.
Wasn't it supposed to be the bestest? According to Trump, he's like, this is the best. It's any glitches that were made that that were found were fixed instantly.
No. So a few things about that, right? First of all, the entire process was sent out to all the other banks pretty late. So then the banks were pretty much scrambling to get all the applications online in time. And I mean, this led to a bunch of people trying to apply, and then a bunch of people had to apply multiple times because they kept changing the process. And then really what it looks like is the people that got the money were probably the earliest ones. And I know some banks were better at processing the loans than other banks. I heard Chase had some issues as well, more than normal.
You mean conservative banks? That I think conveniently a lot of more rural banks had easier times.
Sure, they had to. Yeah, they had a lot less traffic, right? So that would make sense. I mean, what was the limit on the PPP loans, anyways? Like, how much money did they actually have?
Oh, like the total limit?
The total.
I don't have that. I don't have
Not
that
enough.
exact figure, but it said it
Not
took
enough.
13 days to top $340 billion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that's it already.
Well, unless they
Wait, how can
pass
they even
another
do
bill.
that?
They're
Like,
trying
I
to
think
pass another bill, right?
Yeah, they're trying to pass another bill, but I mean, it's that's like brutal, It's already brutal. Like, there's already businesses that are just going to be going under because they can't meet their like mortgage payments, right?
Yeah. Yeah, at this point,
How
pretty
can they
hard
just
on.
give out loans and
Mhm.
like say you don't have to pay them back
That's
necessarily?
what it pretty much was. I mean, these loans, you can't pay them back; they're forgivable. That's why people are kind of jumping on that.
Yeah, but that's basically free money.
Yeah, that's why people were jumping on that.
Yeah, what are you saying?
Why can't they do that always?
What do you? Why
Oh,
would they?
oh, I
Yeah, I
mean
know why would they,
they
but
could. Well, I brought up this point in the video script I was working on, right? Because like on this election, everybody's saying like, oh, we can't have Medicare for all, we can't forgive student loans because we can't pay for it. Where's the money gonna come from? And then suddenly, fucking Jay Powell is just printing like money left and right. Suddenly we have money for everything. We're just handing out money, like no strings attached, right?
Yeah,
And it's just like what? And then suddenly, like you start thinking about it enough, and then you realize that we could pay for so much. Society could be so much better if like the resources are actually efficiently allocated.
yeah, yeah. This
you
is
mean not on the
Yeah.
military to shoot bullets at the end of the quarter, so then they meet the right spending limits.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, like military industrial complex is just a way to funnel money to the
Whatever they want.
corporations, right? Yeah, because they just secure the contracts and charge a huge markup, and then the senators that support them end up getting a job. They get a board seat after their term, right?
I was on the Unsolved Mysteries subreddit the other day, and there was a
Yeah,
post on the top saying like there was some person was talking to like a glitter manufacturer,
yeah.
and then they were pretty much implying that one of their clients were someone that you'd never think of. What was like a Yeah, so then the comments were pretty much discussing, and then almost everyone agreed that it's probably the military that's buying a bunch of glitter for who knows what.
That's okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, that
Learn
was.
something new every day.
Yeah, what are they doing with the glitter?
I don't know. Well, there's not that much evidence. That was just, I guess, an
Yeah,
interesting way.
but who wants glitter anymore? Glitter's freaking an abomination. Just
Well,
gets
I'm pretty
everywhere, and
sure.
Well,
how do you get rid of it?
if they were to use glitter for something, I mean, it wouldn't be like actually glitter. I think what they were suggesting is they're using it as a kind of a material, so you'd never recognize they were using glitter. Well, like the question is, what kind of material would they use it for?
Look, I'm 90% sure that the biggest consumer of glitter is strip clubs.
Yeah.
So, just putting it out there. I don't know what that has to do with the military, but
Churches and maniculture.
yeah, maniculture. That's what they call me. So, speaking of money and scams, you hear about that coronavirus scam, or I guess the Kaiser. There's a Kaiser hospital that got scammed out of 39 million masks.
Maybe they got scammed.
Well, they purchase masks from overseas, and like they send the money and then they don't get the masks. Like, and then now the FBI is investigating it.
They ordered it
Like,
from some rando.
I mean, I don't know how they're sourcing it. They
Well,
probably just went on like Taobao or Alibaba or something.
Alibaba.
Yeah. I mean, the way they make it sound kind of sketchy in this article, right? They said an unidentified businessman in Pittsburgh reportedly was helping the union contact a broker in Australia and a distributor in Kuwait on WhatsApp to secure the deal. Like that
What
already
the?
sounds a little sketchy, right?
Yeah, but I feel like that's more of desperation than any money
Yeah.
embezzling plot.
Like, where would
Well,
they
it's not.
Like
if there's a shortage, then what other choice do you have?
exactly. It's just out of desperation. It's kind of sad what they have to go through. They have to go through WhatsApp.
Oh
That's
yeah, I
some,
mean, I'm not like blaming them for that, but I'm just saying that like it's these people are just like running around scamming. Like that's horrible.
So I was looking at some other article. So didn't the Trump administration, they hired a company to manufacture masks that like already went bankrupt or something? Did you see that?
What? No, I don't know what that is.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Right. In the meantime, there's also been some other coronavirus scams going around. You see a lot of those mass text scams where they're like, "Oh, hey." Well, one of them that I've seen was like, "Oh, hey, somebody in your area has had coronavirus. Click on this link to find out who." And it's like, "Wow. No, that's low." Like, what kind of person do you have to be to, take advantage of people's fear like that, you know?
I
Just
mean,
like those
there
people.
was. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Why do you sound angry?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, there's those texts that were saying they're gonna close everything down, so buy everything from Safeway.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
then people were
yeah.
like overstocking on everything, and then it
Yeah.
caused like even like a cycle because people saw empty shelves, they bought even more.
Yeah, that happened in New York, right? Or it probably happened in other places, but the version of that I saw was New York. Like, I think it was, oh, my sister works in the New York Police Department. She says they're shutting down the city, and then everybody starts panicking, start panic buying everything.
Yeah, and then there's no TP.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a pretty interesting thing, like the whole shortage and supply chain problems, right? Because I mean, basically, what's happening right now is just the misallocation of supplies in every industry. I mean, that's how you sort of the shortages are coming from, right? Because it's not like a production problem, right? Everybody's still making stuff, but just getting it from point A to point B is a lot more difficult than people account for, right? I mean, think about how many people are they're taking a shit at work. You know, they can't do that anymore. Now they got to buy extra TP at home, right?
Huh.
Like,
I
I
never
don't think
thought of
it's
it like
necessary.
that.
Like, yeah, because it's not like these shortages is not necessarily because people are hoarding stuff, but it's just because like it's stuff that's there's a lot of stuff that people would be consuming at a restaurant or at work or some other like just anywhere really, like the gym, amusement parks, businesses, like they'd go there specifically to eat or do whatever they need to do, and now they can't do that, so they have to go to grocery stores for everything. So now the grocery stores are basically just the bottleneck, right? Like it's just the choke point for all supplies to move through, and so it's like kind of a struggle. Jeremy, did you find what you were looking for?
Yeah. So the Trump administration awarded a 55 million contract to a bankrupt company with 0 employees for N95 masks, which it never manufactured.
Oh no, sounds like a Jared Kushner special.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like.
Jared Kushner special.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's evil, and he sounds like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah,
He looks and sounds like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory.
yeah, yeah. That's oof.
Oh man. Oh, did you guys hear about how the money that the stimulus package? They had like an oversight committee, and then Trump just fired like the oversight committee, and then they're saying they're
Oh,
not going
yeah.
to report
Yeah,
any of the.
the bill that was signed, that specifically mentioned that an oversight committee needed to exist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So how does that work? Like,
yeah, yeah. I don't think they exactly fired the committee. They fired like the head of the person who
okay,
appoints
that
them,
makes more
but it
sense.
basically cripples the committee. And they said they're not going to report who they give the money to either, which they had to according to the law they signed.
Oh, look. How else is Jared gonna get his hands on the money?
What are they doing with it?
They should just appoint Jared as the head of the oversight committee.
He's already
I think,
solving the crisis in the Middle East.
yeah, he brought peace to the Middle East. He did it.
Jared brought peace to the Middle East.
It's mission
What
accomplished.
what else did he do? He had like three things.
I think he
He's
cured
like
cancer.
he's like cancer, world peace, and something else.
Yeah, finding his dignity.
Oh man, and then Pence is still in Trump in charge.
Whoa, that's a
Oh,
Freudian slip.
Yeah, I said the word Trump card like a few days ago. I'm like, it doesn't mean the same thing it used to.
Trump card.
Yeah, it's like this is
Yeah, it'd
my
be
Trump
something very
card.
different, I think.
Yeah, and then now it's like, oh, it's kind of it means the opposite now.
Oh my God, you can't use any of those Trump words anymore. Like you can't say trumped, right?
I've never heard Trump.
Or
maybe people will keep saying it, but to mean the opposite now.
well, I mean, Trump is like a comparison word, right? Or it's a way to say that something's better than something else, right? Like you would say my ace of spades trumps the king of
Oh yeah,
hearts,
yeah, yeah.
right? But now, like, can you say that?
No, you can't.
Like, what is Trump a synonym for now?
Uh, Bankruptcy.
The God Emperor?
God Emperor.
Yeah, maybe
God
he'll
Emperor.
just, maybe when he assumes his role as supreme leader, he'll just ban the word Trump outside of
You
his
mean
name.
after he cancels elections?
Yeah, after he cancels the elections,
That's
I'm
like
sure
a
that's coming.
that's like a Winnie the Pooh play right there.
Yeah, oh, you're gonna get us demonetized by Baidu.
Oh no.
Yeah,
You mean Huawei?
yeah, Huawei, Tencent. Yeah, speaking of the Chinese, how about that article about coronavirus possibly coming out of that Wuhan biolab? What do you think about that?
So didn't this start as a conspiracy theory first?
Yeah, yeah, I've been hearing about that floating around last couple months.
And now they have some reason to believe that this is the case.
Yeah. I mean, how realistic do you think that is?
Well, first of all, do you think it's on purpose or planned?
No, I don't think it's on purpose.
You think it was either on
Well,
accident or completely false?
why would they let it out in their own country? That's like a disaster. Like they wrecked themselves, They wrecked their economy.
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because no, because they had it first, and then they like max quarantined, and now they're better than all of us, and now everybody needs their supplies.
Yeah, but the thing is that nobody can really come out of quarantine. Nobody can come out of lockdown while this thing is still going around.
Well, think about how much resources they have to spend to get that quarantine going. Like it doesn't make
Yeah,
sense for them to have to deal with that.
yeah. Like there's like tens of millions of Chinese unemployed, right? And then like if you look at the city data, like traffic patterns, you see that people are still not going places outside of working. Like people are just scared, Like I don't know. I really don't think it was intentional. And even the news article was saying that the experts are saying that it wasn't like developed as a bioweapon, but it was just scientists studying bat coronaviruses, right? Like we already know for a fact that they were doing work on that, so it's not that much of a stretch.
Yeah, now I'm wondering how often does this happen, if that's actually the case.
Stuff accidentally gets released.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's very little regulations, so they probably just left the petri dish open or something.
Especially in China, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. How else do you explain our government? I think they let some kind of disease out,
Well, it's kind of like when I
lowers
think
your
it was
IQ.
Iran. I think Iran shot down a plane, and then they said it wasn't them, and then they're like, "Just kidding, it was us, maybe."
Yeah,
And they're like,
they try
"Yeah,
to
it's
pull a
definitely
Shaggy.
us. We're sorry."
Yeah,
they should have just done a Russia. They should have been like, "We didn't do it," and they're like, "Your missile it has like Russia on it." And they're like, "No, that's not me." That SpongeBob episode? The SpongeBob episode when that guy tries to give Patrick back his driver's license, and then Patrick's like, "No, that's not mine." And then he's like, "Well, your name's on it." And he's like, "Nope, not me."
What about that hashtag Fire Fauci? You seen that going around?
I feel like that's a Russia thing.
I mean, I think most of these conspiracy theories and like anti-American like ideas are from Russia, right?
It's either Russia or China. I mean, it's really easy to infiltrate like I guess American social media with like a trend or something. You just need enough bots to bring it up there, and then people just do it.
Do you think that that validates countries like China doing maximum control of their social media?
Yeah, because it works. I mean, I don't blame them. It's bad, but it works. It's really efficient, and then people feel like they're the minority, so then they stop talking.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing this Reddit post about how easy it is to do vote manipulation. And they're saying that, once you get to a certain threshold, the algorithm takes over, and then, people just start seeing the post more, and then everybody just starts upvoting it. And like they actually tried it. They did it as an experiment. And it just really started making me think about a lot of Reddit posts. And all these companies, they do advertising, and they have people specifically to try to make posts, right, and get them promoted, right? You have that whole like also that Hail Corporate subreddit. I guess that kind of points some of that stuff out.
Yeah,
but it's so easy to manipulate social media, right? Like you don't know who's who.
Yep,
Like,
especially on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like people can just be promoting products and you would have no idea that it's like tied to the company itself. And there's just like plausible deniability, right? Like if they get accused, they're just like, oh no, like I'm just, a normal person. Like how could
we'll
you
actually
can't tie
never
anything?
know.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of like natural selection where you can actually say all evolutionary traits are due to natural selection. But it's not necessarily true, but it's so easy to say, yeah, this is fake, or like, yeah, this is natural selection, or this was caused for Russia, because it sounds like it could be true, and we don't have proof that it isn't. So,
No.
So do you what?
It can, yeah. It does feel, especially now that Reddit is like, what, 50% advertising? At least discreetly, but it could backfire. So, how like Robinhood got banned on Wall Street Bets? It's not the first company that got banned, or at least a representative.
Yeah.
So, it really depends on how obvious they are.
Does knowing that make you want to use Reddit less? Does that affect your Reddit usage?
Well, that makes me very
Really, it just
I
makes
don't
me
think
want to
paranoid is
avoid
the wrong
the
word.
what?
I don't think paranoid is the word. Cynical. It makes me cynical.
Yeah.
Just like everything I read, I think is fake or an advertisement, which
Yeah.
isn't necessarily true. But then it's just in the back of my head, everything that I see is positive. Especially if it's just one with a bunch of upvotes on it,
Yeah.
then that probably is an ad.
Most of it
But
is
I won't
confined
know.
to the main subreddits, so as long as you avoid those, you'll be fine.
Yeah, but the other ones have like either zero content or bad content.
What subreddits are you using?
Hydro homies
It's pretty good.
used to have used to run under a different name, but
Yeah, we won't mention that. Let's not do that.
it's it's branded. It's newly remodeled.
Yeah. So, I've actually really been enjoying using Twitter. I don't think you guys use that, right?
I have an account
Yeah.
which I frequent occasionally.
Jeremy, do you have an account?
I have an account that I don't touch.
Okay. Yeah, like I've actually been using Twitter way more than Reddit just because there are certain people that I really like following on Twitter that actually just think they have good opinions and they share like interesting things. Um especially like news related. Like if you go to Reddit for news, it's really toxic because all the stuff that gets on like the front page of news is like just all like horrible stuff. It's
You
just
mean
like,
Trump stuff?
okay, yeah, it's all like Trump related stuff and it's all like super biased also.
Don't go to politics.
Yeah, like basically most of the news that comes out on any of the main like subreddits are just terrible. Like they're just garbage. And I'm a lot happier looking at Twitter. Yeah.
Is it kind of like a Trailer Park Boys happy? Because a lot of the content on there isn't like high quality, you know.
But no, that really depends on who you follow.
It's
Like
like going from email etiquette to text message etiquette. I mean, some of it might be good, and it also depends on who you follow. But it's also
no,
like
it really depends on who you follow because like you're right because probably 90% of what's on Twitter is absolute garbage, right? Like same thing as
yeah,
Reddit, but you have so much more control on Twitter because on Reddit it's really easy to just go to all, right? And then just like start looking at that. But I mean, there's no default Twitter feed, right? The
yeah,
closest thing is just the trends that show up in the sidebar. And that's like relatively ignorable.
yeah. I
Yeah, but
mean,
yeah.
I guess I mean, if you want, you can sort by controversial if you want a better
Yeah.
view. But then all you're gonna get is just a bunch of
No, that's where you get all the racist stuff.
yeah, exactly. It's just a bunch of racist.
I'll just stick to Wall Street bets.
I don't get that one. What's what's that subreddit about?
It's people putting all their money into options that expire in 1 week or less, and then either losing hundreds of thousands of dollars or gaining hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And then you just screenshot it?
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, yeah, sorry. Not just buying options that expire in a week or less, but buying options on margin. So you see people that take out basically they get a loan for like tens of thousands of dollars from Robinhood, and then they just like throw it at some option and they just see what happens. It's like, oh my god,
How does
that's horrible.
Robinhood enforce those loans?
I mean, they could probably
Probably the
just send
same
it to
way.
collection. They could just send it
Yeah,
to
same way
collection.
everyone else. Collections is aggressive. They deal with it.
Yeah, yeah, just send it to a collections agency.
They probably did the math and like the statistical analysis of how much they would lose by how many people default and have to get sent to collections to how much interest they would make off of the loans.
Like, how do you determine how much margin you have?
I mean, it'll let you open a margin account and it'll just tell you how much margin.
How much margarine?
Yeah, how much margarine.
Yeah, my Vanguard account is a margin account. I think I have
Yeah.
like 20,000 in margin. But I don't know how that's calculated.
Well, the thing's scary. You know, I would highly
I don't touch that.
suggest that nobody ever buy anything on margin because that's just so dangerous. Like honestly, like you stay away from options. Period. You know, options were meant for like institutional investors to hedge their assets. You know.
Algo trading.
Yeah, not like this. Not like actual just roulette, which is what Wall Street's bets is. But I'm pretty sure like Robinhood is gonna get hit with a SEC suit in the next couple years
Yeah,
because
it's got to happen. These guys.
the way that they're just handing out you know, margin and options accounts to basically anybody with a pulse is not good. I mean, who knows? I mean, the way things are going with everything getting deregulated, it's actually seems kind of unlikely that they'd ever go against Robinhood.
Yeah.
I won't be surprised though. Um. Oh, so I guess the one last thing that I wanted to talk about was uh the iRacing, like that game. Have you heard of iRacing before?
Not until you
Heard of Type
mentioned it.
Racer.
Okay, it's not exactly Type Racer, but I actually made a chart on Google Trends comparing iRacing to esports and Dota 2 just to see like, you know, how popular it's been getting recently because they've been canceling all the live racing events, right? So iRacing is pretty much like the closest you can get to that, just like online simulation racing. They actually have a lot of professional racers that use
What?
iRacing. Yeah, yeah, it's like it's legit. Like it's really crazy. So they've actually been airing some of these iRacing events on ESPN, and if you actually see this chart, like the interest over time is like crazy. Like it just spiked up in like in March. Like suddenly, like I don't even know what is this like 1,000% more than that, maybe like 10,000%. But what's even crazier is that there's also been stories coming out about race car drivers losing their sponsorships because of what they've been doing in game.
What have they
Like
been doing?
there's this video of this big pileup, right? And somebody got upset. I don't remember this guy's name, Bubba Wallace, right? I think his car got wrecked, and then he got upset, and then he ended up just quitting. He just rage quit out of the race, and then he lost sponsorships because of it. This guy's a professional NASCAR driver, you know. And then he's on Twitter saying that, oh, you know, it's just a game, guys. Like, come on. And he just loses his sponsorship. It's like,
The
oh yeah,
game.
Oh.
you know,
Yeah, the
people.
game money.
Yeah, I mean, your sponsors still take it seriously. You know, gaming's getting serious these days.
I'm glad the sponsors actually like respond. I think that's a kind of
Yeah.
cool power. It's also kind of like a way to extort celebrities into doing what you want them to. But
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
I
true.
do enjoy that they are somewhat held accountable. Like instead of being like super poor or super rich, they'll just own like one plane instead of three.
Yeah, I mean, this thing isn't an isolated incident because recently there's another driver who lost sponsorships because he was using racial slurs during the race, and I think it was being live streamed or recorded, and then everybody heard it.
He got PewDiePie.
Yeah, something like that.
PewDiePie did the same thing.
Yeah, so he got it. He lost his McDonald's and sponsorships.
So I'm wondering how much a setup would cost.
Oh, an iRacing setup?
Yeah.
You're trying to get into sim racing, Jeremy?
I don't know.
He already has his bike thing.
No, the bike thing's too expensive.
The iRacing is some of those setups can get pretty expensive, like a few thousand. Depends how far you want to go.
Like Swift.
So you want a full motions simulator where like the chair moves up and down and like side to side. Like those things are crazy.
Oh,
like
that'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, like they can actually get super crazy. And then get it with like VR as well.
I think
like I heard the VR is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe at the least like a 3 monitor setup and a nice steering wheel. I wonder how much that is.
Even with a 3 monitor setup, you can get the IR tracking also. So it tracks your eyes, like where you're looking at, and then it'll like move the like the vision in game.
Does that work with glasses?
I actually don't know. Maybe not.
Nothing.
I have no idea.
Glasses. VR barely works with glasses.
Yeah, I guess some contacts. I guess.
I don't even think I can use contacts.
Wait, does VR not work with glasses?
Some can't even fit glasses in there. Some are a bit more roomy. But there has to be some space between your glasses and like the actual display.
Wear contacts.
I guess that could be an option for some people, but I don't know if I can get contacts.
All right, you guys ready to wrap up?
Well, we can talk about the iPhone SE announcement.
I don't really have to. We're already I think it's already been like 40 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, but then like 15 minutes of it was trash.
No, like including that time, like it's more than that. It's probably almost an hour. Like time went by really fast. Like when we started actual content, it was already like 9:55.
Time is relative.
I know. I've been looking at it. I've been keeping track of the time.
All right.
I mean,
yeah.
I guess one last thing we could do is the predictions really quick.
Oh yeah. Did you record what the prediction were last time?
Yeah, I did. I wrote it down. So Jeremy predicted that Bernie Sanders was going to drop out in the next 2 weeks, right? I think he dropped out the week after. Right? So I think I think Jeremy got that one. I said more state lockdowns in the next 2 weeks. And I don't think I got that one actually. Because there's still like 5 states out there with minimal restrictions.
Open.
Half of Florida, right?
The beach of Florida.
There's still a state like stay at home order, healthier at home order,
So what's up with the beaches?
I don't know. I guess the problem with that prediction is that everything is kind of vague, right? Unless you unless you say exactly what the state lockdown is. It's kind of like a spectrum, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think by April 5th was when our last episode was, all the states pretty much finished locking down. I don't think there's any more restrictions after that. Like all those southern states locked down on April 3rd. like Georgia, Alabama, Florida. They all had their state lockdowns on April 3rd. Isaac. Isaac was talking about enforcing California lockdowns in the next
They
2
started
weeks.
ticketing.
They started ticketing?
Yeah, they started ticketing. The
Ticketing
people
for,
who went to Santa Cruz 7-Eleven to get alcohol got a ticket.
You went to Santa Cruz?
You
No,
got
no,
a
no,
ticket?
not me. No,
Oh.
not me.
Yo, I thought you were saying that you went to Santa Cruz and you were like partying. I was like, what?
No, there's people that went to Santa Cruz and they got
Yeah.
a ticketed at 7-Eleven and they said they were grabbing alcohol or something.
Wow. Oh yeah, I think I might have heard something about that.
Wait, but why? Like, are they not allowed to?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
they drove too far from their home. That was the
oh
biggest
my
issue.
god.
Oh,
They like lived really far away.
Maybe they're minorities or something.
That too, probably.
no, you
Or
can't.
You
oh,
can't.
You can't say that.
You can't.
what do you mean I can't
DWB.
say that?
Can you?
Yeah, I can.
It's
No,
because he's
I'm
white.
pointing out. I'm pointing
Oh,
out
yeah.
like racial
All
profiling.
right. You're right.
I'm not. You know,
It's
I think
DWB.
your racism detector is off.
His
It's a
on or
fine
off?
line. Yeah. So I guess you're right about that, Isaac. Enforcing lockdowns, even citations, and also the masks. Right, they're enforcing mask usage now.
I've never heard about that. I didn't hear about that actually.
Yeah, and counties, in a lot of counties, they're enforcing it, or they issued an order. I think it goes into effect on Tuesday, maybe, for Contra Costa.
Wait, what
Some of
happened if
the,
people can't get masks? Do they have to
They
make their
still
own
make their
little
own.
cotton thing?
I mean, I made my own.
I still have the N95 that Garal got us when there was the fires.
Wait, did you get masks at work?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're hoarding masks.
No,
Get 'em.
I'm not hoarding them. I'm saving them for the right occasion. No, I didn't
Get
take
'em.
any masks. They do offer them at work, but I didn't take any because I have my N95.
All right, so I guess really quick before we stop, some quick predictions next 2 weeks.
Well, why don't we? Are any of us revising our prediction for the end of the quarantine?
What's
I
my
think those are
prediction for
locked
the
in.
quarantine?
Those are locked in.
All right.
Otherwise, they aren't. Otherwise,
Wait,
there's no
Can
point
you
in
can
doing
you
the
go over the
prediction.
predictions again?
So Jeremy said June, Isaac said August, and I said July.
I think I'm the most right. I think I'm going to be
Yeah,
the
I
most
think it
right.
might be June. I think it might be June.
No, I think it might be end of
Probably.
May. The way things are
Well,
going.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Like Trump has been talking about like slowly ending the quarantine in some states or having it up to their.
That doesn't count. I don't think anything Trump says counts
Yeah, it doesn't count.
for
The states are going
anything.
to decide.
Yeah, I think the whatever he says, just like it's the opposite. 90% of the time.
Okay, so let's do some quick 2 week predictions. Jeremy, who you got?
Let me think about it. I don't. Regarding the coronavirus or anything?
Anything.
Well, one thing I'm hoping for is for Bitcoin to go up to 10,000.
Oh,
Is it
I
going
think
up?
that's gonna happen.
I don't think it's gonna.
I mean, when is the halving?
It's been tearing up and down. Like,
No, I mean the halving.
what is it? What?
The halving.
Oh, yeah. When is that?
Like that's pretty soon.
Right now it's 7,100.
Oh,
It's been going up and down between 6,000s. I don't think it's reached 8,000 in a while. What's the last time it reached it? It reached 8,000 around March. Well,
Right,
no, that was the last time it was around 8,000. Then it dipped to around 5,000. Then it went back up.
Well, I'm just gonna put you for 10,000. Bitcoin 10,000.
Bitcoin 10,000. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay, Isaac.
Uh,
Oh, Tesla 1000.
Okay. Wow, dual prediction.
dual prediction.
How's it go?
I'm gonna say they're going to extend like the school year cancellation. They're gonna move the school year forward.
Oh, you think they're gonna
They're gonna push the school year over.
like
Do I have to be?
school
Do I
won't
have to be more
restart in
specific?
September? School won't restart in September?
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't think it'll restart in
you think they're
September.
gonna announce that in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah,
So,
why not?
Okay, okay.
so you think they're
School pushed back.
still gonna be remote?
Well, that's the thing. There's gonna be a whole generation of like each year we'll have a whole generation of students who don't know like a certain specific year specific topic just because they didn't pay attention in
That
like
was like
their online classes
there
because
was
they were
this
playing
one.
Splatoon. Oh, this should be freaking taking their online
Animal
courses
Crossing. They're just playing
or
Animal
Animal Crossing. You know, they're just freaking deciding what they want to overcharge people turnips for.
Oh, I missed a turnip market this morning. I messed up.
You miss a turnip market?
Yeah.
I didn't even miss a
Alright,
turnip market, and I don't even have Animal Crossing.
let me do my prediction really quick. I'm just gonna say zoom to the moon. That's what I got.
Oh yeah. I was
Yeah.
The
surprised.
moon's
Like
it's gonna die.
no, look at
No, to the
look at
moon means
how
it's going up.
Zoom recovered. Like it dropped all the way to like what, like 112.
Yeah, I don't even own Zoom, but that's just my prediction.
And then
Throwing it
and
out
now
there.
it's 150 again. So I wouldn't be surprised if it starts climbing up again, or it stops climbing up even more. And I'm pretty happy
Alright.
about that because I own a good amount of shares of Zoom.
Alright, I think okay, I think that's
Stop
it.
bias.
Wait. This is Potato's prediction right here.
Oh.
You
Ooh,
heard
I like
that?
that one. That one's good.
I don't think
That one's
I don't think
good.
I agree.
Yeah, okay. Alright, alright. Alright, I think we're good.